Last time on Whimwims Adventure.
Our hero traveled to Kultiris and was thrown into prison, only to escape and be thrown into a different prison after discovering that he couldn't do any of the dungeons that weren't Battle for Azeroth. After picking up some professions and responsibly consuming a definitely normal amount of alcoholic beverage, he boarded a ship to Kultiris to resume the Battle for Azeroth campaign so he could do some dungeons and fucking have some fun with this game for once. Normally I would do foreshadowing of the episode here, but honestly, it's just me doing boring quests, and I honestly just could not find a way to make that sound exciting, so... the title card. After a long boat ride from Stormwind to Kultiris, our hero hesitantly steps off the boat and into the Tradewinds market. While I was slightly upset that I was being forced into a DLC I really just did not want to do, I looked towards the bright sides and the positives that it brought with it. This is a part of the game that I've never played before and knew absolutely nothing about. This was uncharted territory just waiting for me to explore and discover its secrets. I psyched myself up for adventure and worked on the first quest to get started. Talia here showed me around Borealis Harbor, introducing me to the various NPCs. Bankers, the inn, Flightmaster, you know, basic shit. Eventually, we're introduced to Cirrus Crestfall here, where he's gathered various people, of whom I can only assume are the ones that we broke out of prison from earlier. After one of the group members questions why he's brought all of us here, he tells us it's because he wants to form a group, specifically one to take back Kultiris. He believes that much like his dead war friend, the scars of war have infected and misguided its leader, Catherine Proudmoore, who's the queen, and is causing Kultiris to fall apart. Running over to Talia here, she informs me of some backstory and ultimately tells us that we need to unite the houses of Kultiris so that they can help with the war. And who better to do that shit than us, because plot. I begin to head out on my quest where I passed upon this dude who really just fucking hates fish for some reason, like, holy shit, go to therapy. Riding the ferry over to my objective, I'm tasked with investigating this foundry and its products. Remember that crack cocaine we found in the prison? Yeah, apparently it's some really powerful shit, like, blow up in your face powerful. Anyway, I run around the foundry, killing some of the workers, inspecting the crates to make sure we have the right stuff, and save some kids. You know, fucking hero shit. I also sample some of the stuff in the crates just to, you know, kind of get that triple check to make sure that it's really the stuff that we're after. After I'm done inspecting the crates, I meet up with Flynn in a nearby town, who tells me that he wants me to find out more about this weird stuff that they're using. I head into town to investigate, being completely oblivious to the items I'm supposed to be picking up and watching this guy just get completely fucking demolished by the town NPCs. Returning to Flynn, he informs me that there is a smuggling ship that he noticed from his past that he wants to stow away on to see where it goes, but he informs me to complete any business that I have here first. Spoilers, I have a lot of business I need to take care of. I run off to a nearby mine because of the mysterious question marks that guide me, where I find these guys who tell me that they're in a pickle. They've lost their mind because apparently the rocks became sentient and they got tired of being picked on, so they decided to fight back. After helping them out a bit, they eventually task me with going into the mine itself and getting rid of this ugly fucker who's making all the rock elementals. With some cool dynamite that they made for me in hand, I begin making my way through the mine that's infested with these annoying little nibbler freaks. And I mean infested, like holy shit, there's a lot. Slowly but surely, I make my way through, where eventually I come face to face with the prick. I throw the dynamite at him to grab his attention and then finish him off the old-fashioned way. While I was leaving the mine, it was at this point I realized that the dynamite was not actually a one-time use, but in fact multiple use. So I could just throw the shit whenever I wanted, and it actually did a lot of damage. After literally nuking my way through the mine up to the surface, I realized that fighting through the mine the first time with my sword was a complete waste of fucking time and energy, so live and learn, I guess. Continuing my question mark fueled quest, I find myself in a snowy mountain landscape known as Kenning's Lodge, who needs some help thinning the local wildlife apparently. I get to work killing some bears and resetting some of the traps in the area, however things begin to look bleak, as in this battle I've bitten off more than I can chew. My ghoul is on cooldown, as well as my runes, preventing me from generating runic power to use my healing strike. My health then begins to get lower and lower as I try and hold out to survive. But then, just as I begin to see my life flash before my eyes, Donesian fucking storm ball appears out of thin air, healing me completely and finishing off the furry beasts. Then, just as quickly as he came, he left, riding off into the night sky. Thank you, Donesian. I finished getting some bear skin and prepare myself to take on Frostclaw, an elite polar bear in a nearby cave. Using every ounce of my strength, I wail on him until he falls to the ground, just barely surviving the encounter. Seeing that the mini-map up here indicates that there's some resources deeper into the cave, I head forward only to accidentally attract the attention of a nearby bear who tries to kill me. While attacking the beast, I for some reason decide to look at my skills, when suddenly Frostclaw over here responds and proceeds to slap my shit silly. Realizing this is a lost battle, I had to tilt the fuck out of there only to run into more fucking bears, god damn it! And the deer, what the fuck? Why is everything around here so goddamn hostile? What the fuck? After dying, I run back to my corpse to resurrect and continue onward. During the travel time on my quest, I decided to mess around in my collection tab, only to discover that there was in fact a mount tab, in which there were clearly a few visible mounts. Again, keep in mind I'm more familiar with WoW Classic, where mounts only become available for purchase at level 40. Seeing as how I was only level 23, I thought that maybe these were just skins for when I actually had a mount. So I tried equipping one, and sure enough, I could ride it. So this whole time, I had just been walking around for literally no reason when I had a fucking polar bear just sitting in my pocket. So I guess I got a polar bear now. Cool, whatever. I don't fucking know anymore. I continue to give Mother Nature the middle finger by slaughtering animals on my way to the Fit Springs Resorts, where this little gnome requests my help of cleaning up the resort and using his new device called the selfie camera. Basically, he wants me to go around the resort taking selfies of the landmarks in the area so that he can use them for advertising. The only reason I accepted this quest was because the trinket for the reward was actually kinda good, so I stomached the urge to squash this little cringy freak and got to work not only taking selfies but cleaning up the dump as well. Frustration began to build as I did this boring monotonous task when suddenly this turtle I was attacking just stopped taking damage and none of my abilities were working. Confused, I tried to exit the game, only for reality to fucking collapse in on itself and everything happened at once, leading to me dying almost instantly. Thanks, Blizzard. My frustration capped when I ran over to the waterfall here to snap a picture. However, there was a turtle named Tortjaw just sitting in the water. Not wanting him to suddenly awaken from his slumber while I'm taking a picture and kill me, I figured I'd kill him right now to get it out of the way. Things got off to a rocky start when this random fucking rock shell came out of nowhere and starts biting my ass because he wants some of the action himself. Tort then pulls out his patented spin move when this stag here just flies out of the fucking trees and gores me because he felt like it, I guess. Then his two hoes here, seeing their pimp attack someone, decide to jump in on the mosh pit that is my face and stomp my shit in, causing me to die moments later. I resurrect, kill Tort here without alerting the entire goddamn forest, snap a pic, and then finish the stupid quest so I can get my shit and move on. After getting my trinket, I returned to Stormwind Trade Market to rest and clear my bags, but also to get some food and potions, seeing as how Gramps' soup is almost out. I sought out the cooking trainer so that I could learn some of the area's most famous recipes to take with me on the road, where I settled on this dish, Mondazi. After buying the ingredients and fishing up the fish for the oil, I made about 15 so that I would be good for a while. With food in pocket, I left to resume my journey, starting with helping this guy get his griffin back that some asshole stole. Running up to investigate, I survey the area and assess the situation. First of all, the quest really recommended that you have at least 3 people for this quest, and I can understand why now, as the Griffin, which is the objective, is being guarded by 2 elite mobs. I mean, technically, we're a party of 3. There's me, there's my ghoul, and there's this skeleton here, so surely we'll be fine.
Wrong!
Seconds into the fight, I realized my mistake as it began to chunk my health away. Even with an army of ghouls spanking them from behind a random skeleton shooting arrows at them, they focused me and chipped away. Having already used my shield and my runes being on cooldown, I get flashbacks to the event with the bear from before, and I begin to quake with fear, as I know the chances of Donesian coming to my aid again were slim to none. It's at this point I realize that the only way I stand a chance of completing this is to focus one of them, take him down, die, then return to take out the other one. However, I was hesitant to bet on this strategy, as I feared if I died, the other one would just respawn to prevent cheesing this quest. Could I really bet on this strategy? I had to, as it was my only option. I used my last few moments to focus Lindell here and take him down, when suddenly... I assure you that was completely intentional, 100% part of my plan, and in no way, shape, or form a complete accident. After saving the Griffin, I move on to my next quest and head up to a nearby mill to help them with their sentient tree problem, where I'm told that the reason why this is all happening is because of a witch nearby that's causing all the trouble. Armed with this info, I journey up the hill and into her crack shack, where she stands on her porch and yells at me. We duke it out with me ultimately winning, and I run inside her house to see if she has anything to steal, where I happen upon what I can only assume is a picture of her from her past. And I gotta say, she's pretty fucking hot. I mean, goddamn. Why would you ever convert to a witch looking like that? After getting roughed up by a tree in her backyard, I noticed that my health is low, and see this as a perfect opportunity to try the exquisite food I cooked before I left the harbor. I sit down, or at least I try to, before being told that my level isn't high enough to consume that item. What? Surely this is bullshit and I just clicked the wrong item. I mouse over the food, only for reality to slap me in the face as I find out that the level required is 45. Why the fuck give me the option to cook the food if I'm not high enough level to eat it? Fuck it, whatever, I'll just eat some fucking saltine crackers, I don't care anymore. Seeing as how cooking food isn't going to work, I figured I would just have to buy some. Except, oh wait, I can't, because I'm not high enough level for any of the vendor items. Guess folks is pressed doors. After thinking I would have to fend for myself in this cruel world, going around begging for table scraps and eating out of the garbage like an animal, I'm once again reminded of the pocket dimension I have that is Ebenhold just sitting in my pocket. I hop into the portal I summon, where I run to the center of the room and find Copolius here with a large variety of potent and healthy food that I can eat just fine. Because apparently Kultira's cuisine is just so fucking complicated I can't wrap my head around if I should use a fork, eat it with my hands, or just mash my fucking face into a plate and go to town throwing common fucking decency out the window. I also happen to find out that there's some backpacks here that I can use to replace my sacks to get more inventory space, and Azeroth here just sells gear that's way better than my current shit, so that's cool. I hop through my portal to return to Kultira so that I can continue questing, where I can't help but wonder how Flynn was doing. I wanted to continue the main quest line, but for some reason whenever I see a glowing yellow exclamation mark, I just go primal and have to do whatever it says. The problem I was facing was that I kept accepting small quest chains that would eventually take me to new areas that would eventually lead to more quest change, and the cycle would just keep repeating. Flynn had been standing next to that pole for like 5 days now, wondering where the absolute fuck I went. Meanwhile, I'm on the other side of the world killing skeletons and rock elementals because someone I delivered a package to told me to go check on his friend whose boyfriend went missing in a nearby cave just down the road in a nearby town. Unfortunately, Flynn was just gonna have to wait, as the voice in my head was far more powerful than the desire to continue the main quest line. I continued to blindly follow quest chains for about an hour or two, where eventually I found myself at Angle Point Wharf, an area that just like every other one, has problems. Specifically, the population is battling a sickness from the sea, or so I've been informed. Having nothing better to do, sorry Flynn, I decide to lend my aid to the people and grab their shit they're too lazy to do themselves. I grab some seaweed and kill some fish for them so they can craft a medicine to help combat the sickness. They then give the medicine to me so that I can do the job, because apparently they're just too fucking disgusted to go over there and do it themselves. I head on over to the townsfolk to force the medicines down their throat, where they start puking up worms immediately afterwards, which makes me genuinely fucking sick. Could you imagine puking up fucking worms? I don't know about anybody else, but personally I would burn myself alive if I found out that that shit was inside of me. Anyway, things start to get a bit weird here when this guy opens up a crate only to be attacked by some squid thing that takes control of him. After reporting to Brother Tharold here, he realizes that something is definitely wrong and wants to evacuate the citizens and stop any more shipments of the weird squid things from being sent out to prevent it from spreading. With the townspeople evacuated, shipments checked, and squids killed along the way, Keegan Albie here sends me on my next task, which is to save Lord Stormsong from Brother Conaway, who's holding him hostage in his home. Sounds easy enough, however the only problem is that it lies on the other side of the mine squid-infested shipping foundry nearby. Surely, this wasn't going to be easy. Task in mind, sword in hand, and allies at my side, I begin heading over to the shipping foundry so that I can begin to save Lord Stormsong and hopefully attempt to end this bug-infested nightmare.